Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams and we're back once again with another 24/7 news report. We start this news report with our headline news, and our headline news, as some of you might have guessed, is that Nuno Espirito Santo is close to being appointed as the new Everton manager. Farhad Moshiri has decided this, and Nuno is Moshiri's number one. Camp Nuno are expecting a contract offer in the next 48 hours. This has come via Dominic King. We have a lot of Nuno news to break down. So we also hear from The Guardian that Everton will hold further talks with Nuno this weekend that could conclude with him being appointed the manager. The Guardian later add that Moshiri and Marcel Brands have assessed several candidates and believed to be close to an agreement with Nuno Espirito Santo. According to The Guardian, Nuno's availability made him an attractive option. Moyes was another option that was interested, but he's agreed a new contract with West Ham. So Nuno returned to Moshiri's top of the list after his talks with Palace broke down. We reported earlier on last week that Nuno's talks with Palace broke down over the demands that Nuno Espirito Santo was making, especially about backroom staff. Fabrizio Romano on Twitter has also said Nuno Santo is one step away from joining. The agreement will be completed soon and it'll be announced in the next few days. Fabrizio Romano does tend to be quite on the money unless something horrific goes wrong, by the way. He's normally quite good at putting out news just as it's about to be put over the line. So it almost looks certain. John Percy of The Telegraph confirmed this and thought that it was almost a done deal. It has all been agreed in principle. So John Percy said this is all basically agreed. All it needs is Nuno to sign the contract, and then Everton will announce it whenever Everton want. I can see this coming Monday because it's already been highly reported by the press. So there's no point hiding it really. Farhad Moshiri returned to talks with Nuno after his confirmation that his number one choice, David Moyes, was staying loyal to West Ham as he felt he couldn't walk out on his players. This has come via the Mirror. There's been a lot of Nuno news, so I'll start breaking it down. There's no hiding that I'm not Nuno's biggest fan. I'm actually quite disappointed with the acquisition and the appointment. I will back the manager because you always do, but I'm disappointed, to be honest, with the board. I thought it was down to Brands to pick the manager. Obviously, it's not. It's Moshiri completely running the show, which makes me wonder what why Brands was even involved. Because it's pretty clear that Moshiri is running the show how he likes, as he has done in the past. To be fair, he normally appoints the manager, and I guess he pays the wages, so you could see why that happens. For me, Nuno, listen, I know people are going to say he did well at Wolves up until this season. But I've actually got some stats for you that have come from Greenall EFC, or Michael on Twitter, if he's watching. Credit where I've got these from. And the stats say that Nuno's Wolves last year actually had less XG than Everton of last season, less passes into the box. In 2019-20, in his 19-20 Wolves side, they have the same XG as Everton this year and less passes into the box. So basically, what these stats are saying, and a couple more I've seen, is because they've also got less sprints ran last season than Everton, is if you didn't like how Carlo Ancelotti's Everton played this season, you are going to get the same. If he sticks to what he's used to and what he's played at Wolves, you will get the same again, only with less running, because his Wolves somehow ran less than our players did out of possession. So yeah, I mean, whether you think that's good or bad, he's quite pragmatic. I personally don't like it. This isn't, a lot of people criticising Ancelotti's style of play, and if you do, then I have a feeling you're not going to enjoy the next season and a half, which coincidentally, the pessimist in me says is the only time he'll be at the club. I don't know, maybe he'll prove me wrong. I hope he proves me wrong. I don't want to say, I don't want the club to do badly. I want him to do really well because he's, I want all the best for the club. This just fills me though with a lot of worry and a lot of out of touch with the fan base, because I didn't see a lot of fans picking him. I know a lot of us wanted Gaultier, and apparently you know, he might. The reason he might not is because he's stuck loyal with his agreement to Nice, which is commendable. At least, you know, there's one loyal manager in football. But I don't know. This fills me with a bit of doubt. It fills me in a bit of a worry that in 18 months we're going to be in the same situation again, which isn't what we need. We need stability a bit. But I might be wrong, and I'm open to that. And if I'm wrong, feel free to come back in 18 months and comment down below you were wrong. I will own up, because I'm a man of my word. But yeah, I mean, that's the one worry. And my other worry is that it's David Moyes as first option, and then we didn't get him, so he's gone with Nuno. To me, Majiri here is a little bit out of touch with the fan base, because I didn't see a lot clamouring for Moyes either. And David Moyes hasn't been manager of this club now for nearly 10 years, maybe even 10 years. And he was still our first candidate, and he's linked every time this job comes up. I don't know what is happening in the board that makes Everton still stuck in the 2000s mindset. But then the fact that we've then gone with Nuno just screams we've gone for the safest and most available option, which isn't always the best way to appoint managers, personally. But I might be wrong, you know. I just think this was a bit underwhelming. It was always going to be tough to follow Carlo, because when he was announced, everyone was gobsmacked. You know, this is fantastic. Everybody loved it at first. So you were never going to get a manager that would have that reaction again. I think the only one that was truly available, and I don't think he would have come, is Conte. He would have been the only one that I think would have unified the fan base completely, or near enough, because I don't think you'll fully, you know, unify it. Everyone has their own opinions, which is fine. But I think Conte would have unified the large majority. Everyone else had their hears and their fans and their not so fans, even the Potters, the Gaultiers, the Gallardos, the Benitezes, the Martinezes, the Nunos, the Duncan Fergusons. Everybody had their, some fans and some negative, not negative, some fans and some people who, you know, had some criticisms about them. And that's football. Everyone's allowed their opinion. Nobody's fully right or wrong. Well, nobody could be proven right or wrong unless we gave every one of them the job. But yeah, I mean, it seems like an old mindset we're stuck in. Of I don't think David Moyes should still be up for contention 10 years after he was done with the job. So it's a little bit. I mean, my main worry is that where Marcel Brands is the fact we've heard Marcel Brands wanted someone, Majiri wanted someone, Kenwright wanted someone, and my worry is a lot of chefs spoil the broth, is the saying, and I think that's been the problem here. Too many inputs. You know, it should have been left. I ideally think it should have been left to the director of football, because it's what you hire one for. But I mean, Majiri has once again chosen his manager. Hopefully, it goes well. You know, back him all the way, because he's the manager, and hopefully he proves me wrong. And I will admit it if he does. We also have news that Majiri originally spoke to Nuno and Jorge Mendes, his agent, on Monday. He then spent the week speaking to Rafa Benitez and Roberto Martinez. This has come via the Mirror as well. And again, this highlights what I've just said. Benitez is a bit of an out-of-touch option for the fan base. And Roberto Martinez was as well. I saw a lot of people not wanting that. And he's not going to hire someone just because the fans want him. I understand that. But again, Roberto Martinez is another manager who's not managed this club for quite a while, but is still linked and clearly still has fans. So lessons weren't learned, in my opinion, from the first time. Nuno's demands to Everton include bringing in 6 members of staff, and for super agent Jorge Mendes to be involved in transfer deals. Again, this has come from the Mirror. Now I can see why Palace said no. The 6 staff is pushing it, and I don't know where that leaves the likes of Duncan Ferguson and a couple of other of the backroom staff. Having Jorge Mendes involved in transfers, a bit like he is with Wolves, begs the question to me personally, what is the point in Marcel Brands being our director of football if you're going to have Majiri, Brands, Nuno and Jorge Mendes all having an input on transfers, and they won't all agree. They're just not all going to agree. So now you've got 4 chefs in the kitchen, all having their own pick. I think this could potentially... I mean, some of the players he got for Wolves are fantastic. I like Ruben Neves. I love Pedro Neto. It could go well. I mean, we could end up with another Portugal squad like Wolves, which I don't know if I fully want. I don't think I do want that. But it begs the question, though, is there too many chefs in the kitchen? You know, I thought this was Brands' job, but then Majiri obviously pushes himself in to buy players, which again, it's his money, so I guess you could argue it's his right. But But now you'll have the manager. Managers always have an input on who they would like. And now you've got a super agent. Yeah. But we do have some transfer news. And Everton appear to be in pole position to sign Real Madrid left-back Marcelo. Leeds are also interested, but Everton remain favourites for the Brazilian. And he's got a price tag of $5 million. This again comes from the Mirror. I think this is a player past his best, isn't it? I don't think he takes Luca Dean out the side. I think he'll be a backup. But he's going to cost a lot in wages, surely, because of who he is, what he's won. I don't know about this one, guys. You're going to have to let me know your opinions on this, as you will with everything we've discussed in this video. But this is, yeah, I think this is a player past his best. And I think he's going to cost a lot in wages. But we have more transfer news. We have that Everton have open talks with Joaquin Correa. According to Solo Lazio, the Blues and Arsenal have entered talks with a 26-year-old who's valued at $30 million, and Lazio won't let him go for any less. I said before, I think he's a good signing. I think he's very creative. He's a good attacking option to have. He can play up front, cam, and at both sides of the wings. So he's very a good option to have. He's flexible where he plays. Seems to be a good player. 30 million. I don't know. I guess Lazio aren't going to budge. So it's interesting to see what happens with this one. We also have news. David Moyes has officially signed a 3-year deal at West Ham. West Ham confirmed that this afternoon. I think it was about 7 minutes past 12. They confirmed that. Fully deserved, by the way, fully deserved. I think the fact that he was ever not going to get offered a contract or shown some sort of loyalty by West Ham would have been mad. He's done incredibly well there. So fair play to him, he deserves the contract. And finally, Everton are in pole position to sign Denzel Dumfries. According to Il Mattino, the Blues are in pole position, even though Napoli are interested. Again, reported this earlier this week. He's a good player, really good, really athletic, really fast, really promising fullback. I actually quite like the look of him. I'm hoping, obviously we reported that Brands would have wanted this done before the Euros. That's not happened. I'm sort of hoping this doesn't mean we're going to pay over the odds or we might lose out, because now he'll play for the Netherlands and he'll have every club in Europe watching him. So competition will increase, which is what Brands was worried about. But that is all that I've got time for today. Don't forget to like, share this video with your friends, share the channel with your friends, your family, anyone you know who likes Everton. And subscribe, don't forget to subscribe. And comment down below on anything we've discussed in the video. Let me know your opinions on Nuno. Am I being a bit too much of a pessimist? Are there optimists out there that think that this could go really well for us? Let me know your opinions on the Georgia Mendes thing, about the Brands, Mashiri, or the chefs in the kitchen. And don't forget some of our transfer news. Joaquin Correa seems like a really good player. Let us know if you think Marcelo is past his sell-by date, or if we're actually getting a steal in his, in his twilight years. And let us know about Denzel Dumfries. Do you like the look of him? Does he look like a good player? I think he looks like a good replacement for Seamus Coleman. And I'm quite excited. Hopefully we can get that across the line. But yeah, don't forget to let us know in the comments like you do as always. I love looking through them and giving them a good read. It's all about opinions. We've all got different ones. Hey, maybe some of you can turn me around on Nuno. Maybe you can make me an optimist on it. You never know. Like I said as well, in a year's time, if I'm wrong, feel free to comment back saying you were wrong, he's done wonders. And I'll apologise, because I'm a man of my word. I'm not afraid to be wrong. Don't forget you can follow me and the Toffee Blues on Twitter. Our links will be in the description down below. And most importantly, guys, take care. If you're watching the Euros, enjoy it. I'm hoping it's going to be a great Euros just for football fans in general. I love watching internationals because you see some of the best players in the world come together against the best players in the world. Obviously, this is the Euros, so it'll just be the best European players. But yeah, stay safe, guys.